Good evening, this is Thumbs United, or good day. Right now we're continuing our Let's Play of Heavy Rain. This is episode 2 out of 5. And if you're watching this on Twitch, welcome, this has been recorded live. And if you're watching it on Patreon, you get early access. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this is an old Let's Play. You can get Let's Plays 1 to 2 months in advance of everyone else if you subscribe to LCD Productions at the $2 level on Patreon. After a month of being on Patreon, it then is released to Twitch. And after it finishes airing on Twitch, it starts to be released on YouTube.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Can I help you, sir?
Well, I hope so. My name's Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the origami killer.
The origami killer?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
My son is dead, Mr. Shelby. I have nothing more to say.
I also lost someone I loved. I know what you're feeling.
Then you will understand that I do not wish to talk about it.
The killer has kidnapped another victim. A 10-year-old boy. Like your son, Risa. I have 4 days before we find his body on a deserted
stretch of wasteland.
It's funny
how nobody wants to help
No
Shelby.
one did anything to save my son.
The other lady didn't want to help him.
You would please to move along, sir.
Oh, do you sell inhalers? I'm all out, and at least I won't go away completely empty-handed.
In the back of the store, to the right.
If that was me, I would just leave.
Thanks.
He doesn't want to talk to me. I won't give him my business. Not only that, that makes things awkward. Hey, bud, you wouldn't talk to me about the kidnapping, but I'm still buying stuff from you. Then you have to sit there awkwardly at the cash register.
Good evening, sir. Are you looking for something in particular?
Give me what you got in the register. Don't fucking try anything. Open the register, you dumb fuck. Put the money on the counter. Shit, are you deaf or what? Are you gonna open that fucking register or not?
No, sir. You do not have the right to steal that money from me. I have worked very hard to earn it. You cannot have it.
What did you say? You're out of your fucking mind, man. You don't get it, do you? I'm gonna put a fucking bullet right between your eyes if you don't do what I say now!
You shall not be robbing my register, sir. That money is mine. I ask you now to leave before it is too late.
Christ, goddamn idiot! Open the register!
These
Don't make me
eyes are
fucking
way
kill
too
you.
long. These eyes?
No, sir. That...
Fuck! Drop it!
I
Now!
didn't even see me.
Don't move! Hands up!
This
Put your
is like
fucking hands
that
up or I'll
scene
shoot!
From Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. You need to go
Look,
home and rethink
it's
your
not
life.
worth it. Put the gun down and just walk away.
You giving me advice? I'll give you some fucking advice!
My name's Scott. What about you? What's your name?
Andrew. My name's Andrew.
Do you have anyone you care for in your life? A girlfriend, maybe? A family?
Yeah. A little girl. I got a little girl. Her name's Jessica.
What would Jessica think if she saw you here?
Dude, I
Ask
wouldn't be
yourself,
spilling out all
what
my
would
life
happen to her if
secrets
things
if
go
that
wrong?
was me. This is some
You
Jedi
haven't done
mind trick.
anything serious yet. If you put the gun away, we'll forget about what just happened, and that will be the end. Just walk away.
Nothing serious. Shit, man! What the fuck do you think I'm doing here?
Don't panic. Let's just stay calm.
Oh, that's
Nobody
him.
here wants to hurt you. We're all just gonna be cool, and everything will be all right.
Yeah. I'm cool, man. Everything's gonna be all fucking right.
You don't really want to shoot anybody, do you? I'm sure we can find a way out of this mess, right?
Nice try. For a second there, you almost had me believing all your shit. And now, give me the...
Why would he turn away? Why would he turn away? That makes no sense.
Thousand thank you, sir. I don't know what would have happened if you had not been here.
At least I didn't come by for nothing. Have a nice day.
He's
When
so
my
concerned
boy,
he didn't come
Razor,
by for any reason.
disappeared.
It's okay to
I
wander around
received a
places.
letter with a locker ticket inside. Inside the locker, I found this box. I do not understand what it means, but I think it must be a sort of message from the man who took my son from me.
The origami killer.
Can I?
Please, take the box if it can be of any use to you at all. It did not help me to save Reza, but maybe it will help you find the other little boy. Mr. Shelby, I was beginning to think that there was no good to be found in this place. I can see now that I was wrong.
Boom, boom, boom. I'd watch you put your faith in, mister. Mister, give you a little foreshadowing there. That was a short scene. Oh man. So, other than this game, I've been playing a lot of Halo 4. I have the original Halo 4 for the 360, but then I also have the Master Chief collection, which it's pretty good. I don't play multiplayer, and from what I heard, the multiplayer is horrible. Even co-op inside the campaign is bad. But I've never given it a chance. And so that actually goes into the story, because I've only played the story mission, and I was like, I remembered watching a Let's Play of these people playing Spartan Ops, and I was like, it is so stupid that they up-resed everything. They didn't up-res it. It renders at 1080p at 60 frames per second. But it was so silly that they made all the changes and they didn't include Spartan Ops. So I looked in like the Halo 4 section in the Master Chief collection. It's like they seriously didn't include it, because if you bought the disc launch at launch, it didn't come with the Spartan Ops, so I never played them. And it's like I played everything in Halo.
2:47 a.m.
several times over.
Always the
It's
same
like, I kind of
time.
want new content. And so then I had a trial of Xbox Live. So I was like, okay. I played Reach first with the Xbox backward compatibility. And so that was like fun, because I played the multiplayer maps and I pretty much took over everyone. Nobody knew what hit them. Which really surprised me, because I used to be the absolute worst player in Halo, but this was before I ever owned a console. So it was like really confusing for me to play, because I was like, what is this? Is this a controller? Is this how you hold it? And so whenever I go to like LAN parties with my friends, I would get like 2 kills, or I get like a kill and an accidental suicide, so it didn't count, because you get the negative point with the suicide. But anyway, so I was surprised at that with playing in Reach. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do like Halo 3 or Halo 1 multiplayer. And oh my goodness. And that's when I found it. It was just like, there's Spartan Ops. They didn't put it in the section like they had this section in Halo 3 where they're like, okay, here's Halo 3, and then if you want to pay $4 more, you can get ODST. And so I thought it would be like a section like that, a subsection of Halo 4. But no, they had it in the multiplayer, which I don't know why they'd have it. I mean, I guess I know why. You could have it as like a multiplayer playing that, but it was in the multiplayer the whole time section. And I didn't have to pay. It didn't require Xbox Live to play. I was like so mad. I was like, seriously, it's in here? And it's like, it doesn't tell you anywhere. Hey, look in the multiplayer. We have Spartan Ops there. But going back to Reach, I kind of wish they did kind of the same update they did to the Master Chief Collection, where it's running at 1080p and at 60 frames per second. It's not that it looks that bad, but you can tell that it's not rendered natively in 1080p, even with the Xbox backwards compatibility. But it still looks good. And it actually looks better than some other games on the Xbox One. But that's just what I think. But the Spartans Ops were pretty good. There's not a lot of cutscenes yet, which is surprising because I was like, I don't know what I watched then. Or I guess I haven't gotten to the part where there is a cutscene, but I played to, I think, to like section 3, and each section has like 6 chapters in it. And they're okay, and they're fun. And the Spartan Palmer is funny. I mean, not funny haha, but she's an interesting character to get used to. Not used to, but interesting character to get to know. And her interaction with the other people as she the other people she deals with is pretty funny. And it's just interesting because usually, with the Master Chief, you're the boss. Everyone responds to you. You do everything. And you often get it. You start the situation and then you end the situations. And so you never really deal with command as the Master Chief. So it's nice to see like a different kind of dynamic. Even if it is just voiceover and very little animation. And it makes me wonder if, they could do like a Halo type Mass Effect thing. Where it's like you have the different people, you respond to them. Because that's what I would like to see. I mean, it can be linear, but I would like it to be like the length of a Mass Effect game, like 30 hours or something. And I feel like that's kind of where they were going for with Halo 4. But they only did it for that one level on Meridian, where they're like, okay. It seemed so random. It was like, yeah, we can have, button-activated conversation with the locals on Meridian. And I was like, seriously? It seemed forced in, but I would like to see kind of more of that. You can go around interviewing people and getting to know everything, because the Halo universe it's huge. It's huge. But yeah. So I gave Spartan Ops a try. And it's okay. The gameplay is fun. I'm playing it on easy at first, but
There's someone here. There's someone in the apartment.
It still seems a little hard.
The phone
like there
on
are
the desk.
definite parts
I
where
could call
it's
for
just
help.
like there's way too many people.
The front door.
And
It's the only way out.
Tell it's
If
designed
I can reach
for
it, I still have a chance.
being played Gotta keep around. You can tell it's definitely designed for being played with 2 or 4 players. Oh, and the other thing that I noticed, I know, I mean, the Spartan ups are fun, but the other thing I noticed is like the animation. I don't know what it is. If they didn't set up the spawn points. I mean, not incorrectly, but just not well placed spawn points or like reaction zones. But the character animation of enemies just looked kind of cheaper, if that makes any sense. Like, not as well polished as in Halo 4. The actual game, the campaign. So, there's little downside as far as I used to have night terrors sometimes. And it was exactly like that. I mean, but they are not fun. And it's just like, you know, you're just trying to sleep. You just want to get rest for, you know, the next day. And then it's like, why does the brain do this to you? Why does it give you, you know, these really vivid dreams? And then you wake up and it's just like, I'm not going to go back to sleep. And sometimes you're so sleepy, it's like you can't stay up if you wanted to. Because of course, during the other dream, you didn't get any rest. And I had this one scary dream, and it was actually what I had was sleep paralysis. And that's when you're awake, but your body's asleep. And so you're just paralyzed sitting there, well, laying down. And oh my goodness, that was so horrible. I had it before, or I thought I had it before, but this one time it was just like, I'm totally paralyzed, can't move, I'm asleep. I mean, I knew that like the body was asleep, but it's just like I couldn't
home from church,
do anything. I couldn't
all
roll
their
over.
children were gone.
I couldn't close my eyes.
They searched and called for them.
Laying in bed.
They cried and begged.
I was thinking, I was like, am I going to have to stay this way until like the morning?
The children
and I was like, what if nobody comes to check
again.
on me or something? It's like, how long am I going to be here? But luckily, I was able. I wouldn't say I shook out of it. What happened is I went into like I actually fell asleep. Like before, my body was already asleep,
The origami
and I
figure
couldn't
on my
move.
hand after my blackout.
And then
it's the same one the killer leaves in the hands of his
the rest
victims.
of me fell asleep.
I've never done origami in my life.
And I've looked it up, and so what apparently it is like
that letter might be linked to Sean's disappearance.
you're falling asleep,
I
but
need to show
your
it to
brain
the
doesn't
police.
fall asleep at the same time.
What does
so
it mean?
one lobe
Some
stays
sort of
awake.
fairy tale?
That's not supposed to, and that's where you're conscious, and that's where you feel
This
trapped.
doesn't make any
'Cause
sense.
The rest of your brain
it
is
couldn't have been
actually
me.
asleep.
I couldn't ever have done that.
But it was scary. And the other thing
looks
too
like
that
the
happened
ticket
was
to a
like
locker.
while it was happening, while I was paralyzed, it was just like
This angel on the ticket.
I went into like
I'm sure
had
I've
this
seen it somewhere
huge
before.
fever. Like I just started sweating like crazy. I felt like I wanted to vomit. It was just like, oh my goodness.
I'm the origami killer. I black out, and then the murdering starts. I know it's me. I think I know where this ticket comes from.
That voiceover sounded
Someone
so different
sent me
from
that
the
letter
rest.
for a reason. I have to get out of here and find out what this ticket is about.
So as I said before, I got the trial of Xbox One. It wasn't really a trial. I still had to pay $1. But I don't know. I don't really like multiplayer games. And that's just because, like, when I grew up and I go to friends' houses and play the multiplayer games, it wasn't the social interaction was just not that great. You know, everybody would call you names, blah, blah, blah. And they were all, like, really young kids. Granted, I was really young when it was happening. I was 13, but it was just, like, it didn't really seem like an environment I wanted to be in. And I didn't want to, pay $10 a month or $60 a year to essentially get insulted. Especially because in the beginning, I was really bad at video games. And it's just like, and I didn't want... I mean, you can say, like, oh, you only make friends with the people you know, but I just didn't like the idea of playing with random people. Because, like, when I game, it's like, this is me. This is my private time. I mean, look at me now. I'm streaming live, but it's different. And it's mainly because it's just, like, I go into the gaming world because I want to experience it, but... I don't really want to go in and then, one, you're worrying about looking bad to the other people on your team, and then two, you have to watch out from getting insulted from everyone else.
Gonna have to make it through the crowd. I can't take crowds.
I had the
Just
Xbox
can't handle
360. Maybe
No time to waste. I need
3 years before the Xbox One came out.
I'm just not gonna make it. I'm tightening up. I can't go on.
And I never had to buy the
The luggage lockers.
Xbox
They're on the
Live.
other side of the station. I can't make it. Too many people. Too many people.
It was just because there was a ton of games where the story was enough. I didn't need multiplayer or anything to complete it. And yeah, there were some games that were like really multiplayer driven that I played that I was like, I wish they focused more on the story and the campaign of the game instead of just making it multiplayer. Because that was the other thing too that the games did, was a lot of times to combat buying a game used, they'd have it where if you bought the game used, you have to buy like the online access pack to get it. And it's just like so stupid to me, because like people like me that don't like to play online, it was just like, okay, so you're making the game more expensive and buying it new just for multiplayer, and I don't even want multiplayer. And so it almost, so for some of those games, it was just like an encouragement to, yeah, go buy used. But me personally, I kind of wish they, like, if they're going to charge more for multiplayer, I wish they would charge a separate rate for like just the campaign. Is like, and so you buy the game, and it's like just like, this is the story. You get no multiplayer, but the game is $30, and that would be great.
Jason!
So is he doing this in real life? Knocking down all these
Jason!
other people?
Jason,
Or
come
is
back!
he just lost in his head?
Jason!
I'm pretty sure he's just lost in his head and nobody's really noticing him.
Jason!
But and
Jason!
why does he keep having these flashbacks? I don't really believe that he's a
Jason!
schizophrenic like they're trying to allude to. But did the origami killer, like slip him with something to induce these kind of delusional daydreams?
Jason!
Who knows? Okay, so he's sitting there, and nobody notices him. Oh, this reminds me of a story. But, so my sister was working, and she had a bagel to eat. And she got really sick after eating it. So we think it was the cream cheese that went on the bagel. But she said she was walking back from work, and this is in New York City. And
Line
that
18,
she had almost
box
passed
number
out
3.
walking back to her apartment. And that she was surprised how nobody would stop to help her. She was like, if I saw
Line
myself
18,
on the street
box number 3.
feeling as bad as I did, I would have called an ambulance or something. But she said, people in New York, nobody even looked at her. And she said, and then she told us she thought she was gonna die. She had to sit on the step. And it was just dreadful. But after a couple of hours, she got better. But that would have been the killer cream cheese packet that got her. But we were worried. We were gonna tell her to call an ambulance or something or go to a hospital. But she got better after a while. After a couple of hours. It's really hard to read these numbers. The first time I played this game, I was lost here, and I just found the place by accident. But the camera orientation, and they forced the orientation to be this hard. It's just why do you do it this way? And it kind of goes, I feel like games of a certain age, they really go for how many hours it takes to beat the game, so they throw in silly little things that just make it difficult and take more time. It's just why do you do that? It's challenging, but it's not even fun. It's just I know they're doing this to try to waste your time and get their hour count. Oh, this game takes 10 hours to beat. Oh, that game takes 15 hours to beat. And it's just I feel like some games, in terms of, I guess you could say editing it down to where it's just fun all the time. I'm also of the belief that games really shouldn't have boss battles. They can have more challenging characters and stuff, but if your boss battle takes 2 to 3 hours to beat, and you're just playing the same part over and over again, and it's the
box
same
from the locker. What am I going to find
30
inside?
seconds, the boss is too powerful.
A shoebox.
And it's not even worth it.
What's the connection with
And
Sean's
a lot of times I play
disappearance?
games on easy, and I can't believe it. It's why would this boss be so hard to beat on
Gotta
easy?
open it.
I'm playing
Find out
on
what's
easy
inside.
because in the beginning I wasn't that good of a gamer, and 2, I just want to have fun, and I really just want to enjoy the story and the world exploration. And And that was actually one of the reasons why I bought Gears of War 3. I never played Gears of War 1 or 2, but I heard Cliff Blazinski talking about it, and he was like, yeah, we made an extra easy mode, and it's called like super easy. And so what happened was that in the game on the 360, when you bought it, it would check to see if you had a Gears of War 1 or a Gears of War 2 save. And if it didn't find that you had Gears of War 1 or 2, it would unlock this mode and say, hey, you've never played Gears of War. So we made not just an easy mode, we made a very easy mode. So you can just have fun, enjoy the world, and explore the story. And I was just like, that is such a good feature. And I wish more games did it. But they really didn't. But that was the whole reason why I bought Gears of War 3. And I thought Gears of War 3 was really fun with that mode. And I went back and played it on easy and normal. But the kind of unfortunate thing is I went back to...
Help! Dad!
Sean.
Where are you? I'm so cold. Dad! Dad!
So the kind of unfortunate thing is that I went and then bought Gears of War 2. And I still have it, but the game was so gory. And it was just like not gory in a good way. It was just like, this is gross. I'm going to go into some spoilers, but there was like this one level where you're fighting inside of a worm and then you have to cut its arteries and everything. And I was like, who comes up with this? It was just disgusting. Nobody wants to run around inside a worm. And then inside the worm, there are these like kind of mini levels where you have to run across different zones and you have to avoid the stomach acids and everything. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And then the end cutscene is him like is not Dom, but Phoenix cutting his way out of the inside of the worm. And it's like, this is gross. And I just couldn't suspend my belief. And that was kind of like the thing with Gears of War 3 and playing Gears of War 3 and then going to 2. You could kind of suspend your belief in Gears of War 3. I mean, yeah, there were things that, you can't really believe, but it was an acceptable story. In no way do I think,
aged between 30 and 45.
Soldier
He doesn't
gets
act on
eaten by
impulse,
worm,
but plans his crimes in a very
cuts
meticulous
his way out of
fashion.
worm. I mean, that's like
He doesn't have anything personal against the
silly
victims.
cartoon level.
That's why he covers their faces with
from
mud
like a first
to make them
grader doesn't
anonymous.
know how
Why does he kill them if he
things
doesn't
work.
have anything against them?
For him, they're more of an image, a symbol. That's probably why he gives them an origami figure and an orchid as gifts to apologize for what he's done to them.
Very interesting. And where does all that get us?
The best way of tracking a predator is to be familiar with his behavior.
That may be true in novels, but there's a child's life at stake here.
Continue, Jaden.
One detail attracted my attention. The interval between the time when a victim disappears and the time when the body is found ranges from 3 to 5 days.
Yeah, I know. Last
the
week I
rainfall
talked about,
is always at 6
or
inches,
in the previous
give or take
episode,
10%.
I talked about
What on earth does that
E3 and the cringe factor.
All the victims were drowned in
But
rainwater. The killer kills only in the fall when
the other
there's
thing
plenty
I
of rain.
wanted to talk
It
about
could be that he
was,
puts
like,
them in some sort of
the
well
deal
or
with
tank that is open to the
Xbox,
skies and that fills up with rainwater.
exclusivity. It was like from
The more it
every
rains,
game
The less
they
time
were
the victim
saying,
has to live.
Xbox exclusive. This Xbox
Then I
exclusive
studied the
reveal.
geographical
It's like,
distribution
that's
of the
cheating.
murders. Generally,
yeah, the
a killer
game's being
commits his
announced
first
at
murder
your
near to where he
conference,
lives, so he has a safe
but
place
it's
to
coming
flee
to all
to if any
platforms.
complications
I feel like it
arise.
needs to stop because
The
they're
more
just lying.
confident he becomes, the further he roams
I mean, how
from his
many people
base.
think,
By analyzing the locations where the
it's-
victims
who are
disappeared,
watching the conference
I was able to isolate a zone
and think,
where the
oh,
killer
I'm going
might
to get
live.
that game, and then
And what size is this
are
zone?
like, oh, it's only exclusive
For
to
the moment,
Xbox. I got to buy an Xbox.
About 10 square miles.
I mean, it only takes like maybe
Oh, great.
a week of
There must be
waiting,
10,000 people
and then
living in
you
that
find
sort
out,
of area.
it's on a
You gonna question
PlayStation
them
3.
one by one?
Oh, I mean the PlayStation 4. Oh, they just meant
the more clues we get, the
It's,
more we can reduce the zone.
the
We can then
announcement is
cross-check it with our list
exclusive,
of
but the
suspects
game's not
and
exclusive.
identify the
Or
killer.
worse, It's just one of those
So
time
what's
exclusives
next?
that is just like, well, you have
There
to
are
wait
two
an extra
suspects
month
whose
for it to come
psychological
to-
profile might fit and can be connected to the comfort zone. I'd
for it
like to
come
question.
to the PS4.
God damn it. We're wasting
Now,
our
right
time
now,
with this
I only
bullshit.
own
The killer's out there somewhere.
Xbox
We gotta
One.
get off our asses and find him.
And I have a PS3, so I do like
The killer is no ordinary murderer. He is intelligent, organized, and methodical. You
exclusive
won't
games
find
in
him
their
by
first-party
patrolling the
studios.
streets.
I love
Tell
Uncharted
me,
and Naughty
Jaden,
Dog.
did you get your vast experience on the job, or did you just
And,
fucking read about it in some school book?
Obviously, I love Heavy Rain.
I came here to find a killer. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do.
And, and there are
or
plenty
without
of
your
PS4
help.
games that
That's
I'm pretty sure I'm
enough.
going to buy a PS4 for when they come out.
You said it took
Detroit,
6
which is the
inches
other
of
game made by
rainfall
Quad
before the
Dream that
victim
made Heavy
died.
Rain. I'm
How much
waiting for
time do
that.
we have left?
I'm interested in playing The Last Guardian, even though
The
I saw
weather
it got
forecasts
bad
are right.
reviews.
Less than 72 hours.
And then Uncharted 4. I've stayed away from spoilers, and I'm looking forward to playing that. It's just, there are a lot more, and this is going into the next topic, there's a lot more PS4 games that are exclusive that are not just exclusive, they're like good exclusives. They're not just like, oh yeah, well we only have this.
No
They're
answer.
like games
We waste our time.
I would
coming here.
actually, like when people ask me what console to get, I don't
Maybe
tell
we
them
should
like,
have a little
get the
look
Xbox
inside
One.
anyway.
The only
There's
reason
nobody
I
home.
got the Xbox One is because I'm a diehard Halo fan. And I don't even play Halo multiplayer.
There is now.
I really like the story. I like the Master Chief.
I'm not
I
sure
like
that's entirely
the
legal.
relationship with Cortana and how they're kind of like
Call
a
the
team that
cops.
works together. And I like the story of like fighting the Covenant, and I didn't really like the flood levels.
Looks
though.
like
That
Nathaniel
could have been
Williams is
left
a
with
pretty
that.
religious
But I do
guy.
like the story of the Forerunner, and I read all the books and stuff.
God-fearing idiot, waiting for the
But
end
that's
of the
what I
world.
ask people when they ask for
We questioned
recommendations
him
for
a
a
few months
console.
back because he was causing a
The first thing I
disturbance
ask
in the
is
park.
like, do you like Halo?
Ranting and
If the answer
raving.
is
Said
if the
he heard
answer
voices.
is no, I don't like Halo, or oh, I
Had
never
this
played
idea
Halo.
in his sick little head that I was
I just
the
told him to the
Antichrist.
Xbox 4.
I'd come to Earth to
I mean the
persecute him.
PlayStation 4.
Real twisted.
And that was a slip up. Because at this point, I don't really think it's. I mean, diehard Halo fans. Yeah, I can't wait till Halo 6 probably come on the Xbox One. I mean, it'd be really stupid if it didn't. If they only launched one Halo game, Halo 5 on the Xbox One, I would just quit. I would just be like, okay, I'm not buying an Xbox
Candles are still lit.
console ever
He should be
again.
back soon. The guys taking a break from reality hold up here in this crazy apartment. It's stifling in here. Those windows haven't been opened in years. All the signs of a mystical obsessive neurosis compounded by a persecution complex.
But yeah, and so back to the exclusives. Like, I feel like one, I don't think you should even count a timed exclusive as an exclusive. And I mean this from like if you're at Microsoft and you're saying, what can we do to make Xbox better? I don't think anybody really thinks, oh, I have to play this game within the first 6 months. I think like people who have an Xbox already,
You don't have to be a profiler
like
to
as
see
a
he's not a
convenient
killer.
thing, though,
We're wasting our
get a
time
game
here.
Maybe 6 months before it comes to the PS4, but I don't think a lot of people say, oh yeah, like with Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, is like, yeah, it came to the Xbox a year in advance, but I don't think a lot of people said, I'm gonna buy an Xbox for Tomb Raider. And then it comes out on PS4 anyway. And not only that, by the time it comes out on the PS4, it comes out with a better version. It comes out with the definitive version. And you didn't have to sit through kind of like the update cycle that the Xbox One had. And so then, I don't like the quality of Xbox exclusive games is just not that high. I mean, they have Gears of War and Halo, and I don't really have any intention of playing Gears of War 4. And it's kind of a shame because I like Gears of War 3 so much, but I just Gears of War
Good
2
timing,
was so
Nathaniel.
gross to me that I was
Just the
like,
man
I
we're
don't
looking
wanna
for.
go back into this universe.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us.
I'm Agent Norman Jaden, FBI. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
As God is my witness, I haven't done anything. I'm innocent.
Relax. Nobody's accusing you of anything. We just want to talk. Where do you work, Nathaniel? You have a job?
My sole occupation is praying to the all-merciful Lord for the salvation of humanity.
You were arrested in a case where a child disappeared from a park. What exactly happened?
I'm innocent. I have nothing to do with those murders. I was in the park because God spoke to me. I was arrested because I am the chosen one. That's all.
Why all the crucifixes? You afraid of something?
The hour is nigh, and the wrath of God shall strike men down. I'm preparing for the end of the world.
What about the voices, Nathaniel? Do you still hear the voices? We know who talks to you, don't we, Nathaniel? Or we both know who talks to you.
Don't speak that name.
What does he say to you, Nathaniel?
Maybe Blake knows what he's doing after all.
You mustn't talk about it.
He orders you to go and find...
I've got to do something.
He needs more and more.
My car was smashed by a tree.
I gotta
that
stop
fell
Blake.
on
He's
it
going too
during
far.
the storm. So,
Shit! Blake
I've
is
been
totally
doing a lot
out of
of
his
work
mind.
just
I can't
like
just
in the
stand
house
around and do
and-
nothing.
He
Not
told you to
really
go and
going
find
out
that kid in the
too much. I'm
park.
gonna go
The
out
voices tormented
with,
you
uh,
all
friends and
night
family,
long.
but
You wanted
I guess
them to
Blake's
stop
trying to break
Other
it, but
than
what good is a
that,
confession if he does?
Stay home, and I don't really miss going
That's
places.
enough.
But
The guy is terrified of
So you
Blake.
obeyed
for my
him.
He
other
really
website,
thinks he's the Antichrist
Took
or
that
something.
boy with you and you
I
drowned
had
him.
this
Isn't that right?
project
What's
I did
Blake
that was
looking
called
for?
Project Park,
Why is he pushing him over the edge?
Stop! Stop!
and
You killed them, didn't you, Nathaniel? Are you going to confess,
I had to
you
stop it
bastard?
because before I would go to like a different park, maybe
You
2
are
or
the
3 times a
Antichrist.
week.
Put down the
I
gun,
shall
Nathaniel.
dispatch you to your
Sometimes
father
I
in
go to a
hell.
park like 2 or 3
He is
parks
the
a
son
day.
of Satan. He was sent
They
to
were
earth to
close by to each
destroy
other.
us. For Christ's sake!
And so I'd go and I'd
Shoot!
take pictures there, and then I'd post
Drop the
pictures
gun,
like one
now!
a day. But
Keep calm. Everything is gonna be
So-
fine, Nathaniel.
right now,
Team,
for
you
for the
shall
next 4
regret
days, I'm
confronting
renting
the
a
emissary
car
of the Lord.
because I'm
You
taking care
shall
of my
know
grandmother.
divine power.
And
Lieutenant Blake is gonna leave our
it's, like,
planet
really
right
nice,
now and
'cause
return to the
I
realm of
haven't driven.
shadows.
I mean, I've driven
Creature of
occasionally,
darkness,
like,
I do
to take out
beseech
the
you to
trash or
return to the
something.
realm of shadows and leave our
But-
Nathaniel in peace.
Christ, how powerful.
It's just
Defend
it's
us in our
incredible. I
battle
was
with the forces
driving,
of
I'm just
evil.
like I can
Protect us
just go
from the cunning
anywhere
and wiles of the
right
demon.
now. It's like
May
I
God
could drive
Almighty
for like
manifest
4
the power
hours.
of His empire,
drive 2
and may
hours.
divine power cast Satan and all
My
the other
family and I
spirits
usually drive
that
a long
prowl
time,
the
so
world
it's
in
just
search
like,
of souls
where do I wanna
into
go
the
now?
darkest depths of hell.
So I started taking photos for Project Park, and it's kind of a new style.
Enough, Nathaniel! Put the gun down! Immediately!
But we'll see.
Back away. Slowly.
I'm testing out a new camera. It's a 3D camera, but I haven't really done too much with the 3D photos. So I'm going to try editing it
Now drop the gun.
and see
Drop
how
it,
it goes.
Nathaniel.
But I've run some tests, and the tests look good. So I think it'll be a nice addition. And this is just for the
Put your hands on your head.
animations, the photations, not for
Turn
not for,
around.
like, photos to buy. Because the parks that I'm going to, I'm redoing kind of the work that I did for the other parks, and so I'm going back to the ones I already have photos of. Professional photos of,
Satan.
and taking pictures with the 3D camera.
Okay, freak, the show's over. You're under arrest.
So I'm really looking forward to continuing.
Pretty
to
damn
do
cool
that.
under the circumstances. I would have just shot him.
A gun isn't the answer to every problem, Blake.
Maybe not, but most of the time it helps.
So I got a new game. I ordered it from Amazon. I'm trying to like wait for deals on the Xbox store. But just going back to the exclusivity thing, there's not like a lot of games I'm finding that I want to play on the store. And so I'm just like, and the ones that are on sale, I know I can get cheaper if I go to a brick and mortar store. It's just like, I know this is like, and they had the Batman Telltale game, and I was like, it was like something like $20, and it's like, I know I could get this for $10 or $15
Baby screaming
if
inside.
I went to the actual
Not a
physical
promising
store.
start. Baby screaming and no answer. I don't like the look of this.
Anyway, so then I went on Amazon and I started searching.
Bowles, mother of the
And you know when you
origami
search
killer's
and
latest
you can like set your price.
Maybe she
Well,
knows
one,
something
I
about
set
the
it to like show me
circumstances surrounding her son's death.
Xbox One games from lowest to highest. And of course, when you do it that way,
Asthma free for the
prices
moment,
lowest to highest, it shows like a
Put
whole
all in
bunch
here
of
in
things
my
that like
pocket,
aren't
just
what
in
you're
case.
exactly searching for. So
I should have a look around.
like it would show me, I was in the Xbox One section, but then it would show me like all these Xbox 360 games and stuff that were like $1 and things, and then like cables that were $1. And it's like, this isn't what I'm looking for. And so then I would go up, and so then it was like, okay, I'm at the $10 level, and then the prices are
Doesn't
going
seem
up
to be anyone.
as you like go to each additional page.
Anybody home?
And so it wasn't until like the
This is Bowles.
$15 level that they started showing Xbox One games.
Jesus.
And so then I got all the way up to like $20, and she's like, nothing looked interesting. And so then finally, at like, it was like $23.
Hang on, baby.
There was Mirror's Edge.
First I gotta find Mama.
I only
Hello,
played the
little
demo of Mirror's Edge on the Xbox 360,
Looking for your
but I
mama.
really liked the demo. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it out. So I ordered it, and it was free shipping, but it wasn't Prime. So they were like, oh yeah, we'll take anywhere from 2 days to
Mrs. Bowles.
like 14
Mrs.
days
Bowles,
to
are you
get to
there?
you. And I was like, what? So I don't know what company they were shipping it with. It took forever. It took like 5 days. And I was like I knew it wasn't Prime when I ordered it, so it wasn't like a surprise that it took 5
Mrs.
days.
Bowles.
But
Mrs. Bowles,
it
can you
said
hear me?
it could show up in 2 days.
Wake
And so
up!
I was really hoping for the 2-day
Wake up!
shipment, but it got here in 5. So I've been playing through with it, and going back to the boss battle debate, Mirror's Edge is a lot of fun, but they're at like certain end of levels, and not at all the ends of the level, but at most some of them. There's I'm like
I'm gonna call an ambulance.
7 hours into the game, and they're
I don't want to go to the hospital.
adding like
Please.
enemy characters.
Okay.
And it's just like, this person can
You got
only
something around here I
accept
can dress
this
this wound with.
attack. This other person
Yeah.
can block that
think
attack,
so.
but you
Okay,
can
don't
kind of
move.
get in
I'll
this
be right
attack
back.
if you do this button mash together, and it's just like, oh. And the reason why it's annoying is because if you're playing the game, they actually tell you, you don't have to fight anyone, and you actually have a reward system for not fighting and just evading.
Let's see.
And so then you get locked into these arenas where
This.
they're like, oh, you have to fight
this.
everyone. And you can't really take everyone out because you don't have that much of health. And the big deal with Mirror's Edge is that you can't use weapons. You can only use fist fighting. So you're fighting people with batons and with like this
I'm here for
electric
you,
pulse
Susan. You'll be all
armband
right.
thing. And it's just like,
I'll take care of it.
everybody is so overpowering. And again, I'm playing it on easy.
Stay
and
with me,
it's just like,
Susan.
if this,
Susan, do you hear me?
it's
Susan, stay with me.
such
you
a
hear me?
struggle.
Stay with
on
me.
like easy for these boss battles, and I'm
Come
like,
on.
what would these boss battles be like if it was on normal? And to be honest, I don't think there'd be any difference. I don't think they made it any easier for the easy mode. I think the boss levels are just all the same level. It's just really annoying, and so it takes a game that I really like, and like
There,
I
I don't
review
want
it
to
highly.
That should stop
But
the
then
bleeding.
it's just like if they
Well,
added
luckily
the
the
boss
wounds
battles,
aren't
and it's
too
just
deep.
like I would
Hey.
go for maybe like an hour and a half,
you
and then
feel?
there'd be a boss battle, and it's just like,
Okay.
okay, I'm done. Either
My
I finish
baby.
the boss battle, and I'm so annoyed
My
because it took
baby
me
needs me.
30 or 40 minutes just for the one section,
Right.
and that's just like I don't want to
You
play this
stay
game
there.
anymore, and so I set
I'll
it
take care of
down.
the baby.
Usually, I'll go open Twitch or something, or watch some YouTube videos, and
Do you
then
know what to do
I
with a
I just
baby?
peace out.
I'm a private eye. There's nothing I can't do.
So, and it's kind of a shame because, I mean, it's
Her
it's
name
really
is
fun
Emily.
first-person platformer,
Gotcha.
essentially.
I was a private eye when I walked in here.
And so I just
Now
wish
I'm a
they didn't add
babysitter.
in that other stuff.
Go figure.
But I haven't beaten the game. I think
Mommy will
I'm
live
pretty
for
close
now.
to the end,
Let's see how Junior's doing.
but... And so the other thing about Mirror's Edge is that they have, not a reward system, but they have a, they have, what is it called? It's like in Deadpool when you had the, not achievements, but it's an ability store. So you can go through and you can buy like an extra bar of health, and so that means you
Hi
can
there,
take
Emily.
more endurance and stuff.
So,
Or you can run
what seems to
faster,
be the
or
problem,
you get
huh?
more attack modes
Oh.
that you wouldn't have normally.
going by the smell, you
And
got
so,
a pretty
like,
good idea.
as you start playing through the game more, it really helps. But again, it's just like, I wish they balanced it to the point where you wouldn't need that. You didn't have to get these upgrade packs. Because
Okay.
there's been different points where it's
How
like,
you doing this
okay,
again?
I'm at a point in the game where, and you don't level up that often, but, and that might be because I'm not doing a lot of the side missions, I'm just doing the story missions, but, so I'm going to go back and definitely play more side missions to get my XP up, but, there are
There you
definitely
go, fresh
parts
new
where it's
baby.
just like, I have a choice to either upgrade my
That's
health so I can last longer in the fight, or
Right,
I
Emily.
can upgrade my attack mode so I can beat this one player. And so, like, the
Hey,
combat upgrades,
what's the matter?
each one only
I thought
applies
we
to
solved
one
the
type
problem.
of enemy. And it's just like, oh, this is so annoying, because then it's like, I want to do all the updates for each different enemy, but then I also want the health pack. I mean, it's not a health pack, it's just more
I
health.
guess I better warm this thing up.
And your health doesn't recharge. Like, once you get down to the lowest bar, it will regen, but only for that lowest bar. So it's just like, and you lose your health so quickly. But there was this one boss battle, and oh my goodness,
Of course.
it was so dreadful.
Now I know why you're
Because
crying, my
it's like
little
some
peachy
kind
poo.
of like super enforcer.
Mother shall be to
But
the
he-
rescue.
He does like all this acrobatic stuff, and he'll do this thing where, like, I'll be at full health, and I'll be taking him down. I'll do like the jump kicks and everything, and there's like a jump mode where if you
Oh,
jump
Emily,
from a
are you
high enough
hungry?
place, you can kind
Hold
of
on.
instantly take out a person.
I'll just
This
tilt
doesn't
this
work on
bottle a
that
little bit
character.
so you
I don't
touch
even think it takes away their health when you do it, because I tried it a couple of times. But then he does this mode where like you'll be like doing roundhouse kicks on him, and then all of a sudden it's almost like the game glitches. I mean, it looks very much like a glitch, where instead of like him falling backwards, he just comes at you, and it's just like it doesn't matter if you attack him or not, nothing phases him. And so then he does like a kick, and it sends you back flying, and then you do a backwards somersault, and then
You're feeling
you try to
good
move
now,
and try to
right?
evade this next one. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what buttons you press or anything. He comes in for the next kick, hits you again. You do a backwards somersault because he hits you so hard, and then he does it one more time, and you can't evade. And it doesn't matter what buttons you press or where you're moving the joysticks. It's like the whole thing is a quick time event, and then it kills you. And so it's really aggravating. Because like once he does it once, you just know it's instantly over. And so instead of it just being over, he does it 3 more kicks, and you try to evade, but it doesn't work. And then he knocks you out. And it was just so frustrating because
Right.
I would have
That's
him
about
at
the
like,
limit of my
he would
maternal
have a
powers.
slither of health left,
kid.
and I just have to hit him one more time, and then he just goes into that beast mode where he
Thanks for looking after my
kills
baby.
you instantly, even though you had a full bar of health, and it's just like, and there's just no
Didn't wanna
escaping it.
leave her.
And it's like, this isn't fun. Why would you add this in?
Just couldn't cope anymore. Just
Right.
not having Jeremy around. He was such a good boy. Can't understand why anyone would want to hurt him.
Do you take care of this baby on your own? Doesn't Jeremy's father live with you anymore?
He disappeared. The day after Jeremy. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he couldn't take it. Ever since I've had to look after Emily all on my own, and I couldn't do it anymore.
I understand. Did your husband say anything before he disappeared? Did he leave a note or something?
No. He left the house without a word, and there was just the cell phone.
A cell phone?
Yeah, I found a cell phone in his dresser. I'm sure it wasn't his. I'd never seen it before.
And so, speaking of Amazon
I
orders,
tried to turn it
I
on,
have-
but it didn't work.
I have a really old set
you
of
still have it?
headphones. They're the Bose
Yeah,
Quiet
it's
Comfort.
in a drawer in the
I
living
believe their
room.
model number is Quiet.
You can have
the
it if you'd like.
Bose Quiet Comfort
I'm sure it's of more
15.
use to you than to me.
And
Do you have any family or
I got them
anybody
because
to
I was
help
going
you?
on this one trip, and it was going to be like,
Yeah.
it was,
My mother.
I think it was 17 hours. And like the
I didn't
the
want to
plane
ask her for anything.
ride was so long that the plane had
We don't really
it
get
actually
along.
had to land to refuel.
But I guess I'm out
And
of
so like
options.
when the plane landed, it was just like, okay, everyone
Well,
stay
look
on the
after
plane.
yourself.
We're just getting more gas,
And
and then
Emma.
we're taking off again.
I will.
And so we like
I
picked up a
promise.
few passengers, and then we were off. And so I got these headphones because I wanted noise cancellation for the airplane, but then I also wanted because they're pretty good for just monitoring audio and everyday use. And so I had, like as the headphones get older, like the wires crimp, and then you lose a channel in one ear. And what I like about this headphone is some of the parts are modular, so you can, like if one part breaks, you can just order it online. And so I got these headphones in 2006. Like that's how old they are. And so like the
Good luck.
they're canned headphones, so they
Take
go
care of your mama.
around your ear. And so the foam started to flake off and then eventually disintegrated because they were like really old and I use them a lot. And so I just went online, and it's just like $10 if you get the knockoff, if you don't get the rose one. And he's almost exactly the same as the Bose one, but then you can get the knockoff cushions, and then you just place them in, and it comes with the glue to attach it. And so, like, that part was nice. And then about 2 years ago, my cable, the wires were crimped, so like you'd have to hold it in a specific way just to get like audio coming out of each channel. And I was like, this sucks. So then I ordered a new cable 2 years ago, and it fixed it. It worked. But then, and this is probably because I do the VR with my phone, and the case that I put my phone in to do the VR, it's like a fancier version of cardboard, but it puts pressure on the cable. And the thing that I hate about the Bose one, even the knockoff Bose cables, is that it's not a 90-degree angle, but it's a hard plastic that goes maybe 45-degree angles from, so it doesn't come straight out the headphone jack. It comes out curved. And so if that part bends too much, then you lose the channel of audio. So I ordered this new cable because the other one only lasted 2 years, and it just quit about a couple of weeks ago. And it comes, and I plug it in. I'm like, oh good, it came on time too. And then I put it in, and the first thing I noticed is like all my music sounds backwards.
Exhausted.
So what happened?
But at least he's alive.
And so
I'll do anything to get him out of there.
And so this generic
I should go talk to
cable
the garage guy over there.
was built so that, and I don't think they did this on purpose. I think this was just like a mishap for this one. But the
parking lot ticket and the
left
origami
channel
figure
comes out
leads
the
to
right
this
ear, and
garage.
the right channel
What am I
comes
going to find here?
out the left ear. So it's
Excuse
just
me?
completely swapped. And and it's funny because sometimes I
Hey.
go and I watch like an ASMR
Oh,
video,
sorry.
and
Good to see you. What
it's
can I
funny
do
because
you
when the
for?
person goes to the left or right of the screen, it goes opposite in my headphones. And so the headphones are really
like to
designed to
My
kind of
car?
curve with your ear, and so they're at a slant. So then so what I do is I put my headphones on backwards, and then it's okay. But it's kind of uncomfortable on your ears, but not that much. And so I'm just like, I'll deal
you're
with
a
it.
pretty patient
And
guy,
because
you
I'm
are.
in the
That
VR
car's been
so
there
much,
for 2 years.
mainly doing
We took it
testing,
out for a drive every
but
month and checked the tires and batteries.
it's like
just
I'm
like
sure
you
this
said.
cable isn't going to last very long. And I've
Here,
already had
It's the third
a
floor
couple
down. Service
of scary
elevators at the
moments where I
far
thought,
back
oh no,
hour.
did I just break the wire
No,
again?
you have yourself a good
But
one, Chief.
it seems to be fine. So I'm just going to wait till it breaks, and then I don't know if I'm going to get the official Bose replacement. But that's the thing that I like about these headphones is they still make these headphones, and they still make the replacement parts, even though I got the headphones in 2016. Not 2016, 2006. So that's nice, and they still work fine. And then I've been looking into 3D printing. I took a class in the Fab Lab, and I did really good in it. And it was a lot of fun. And so I got to work with the ShopBot, which is it's a CNC machine. And so you you do like your design, like a 2-dimensional design, and then it's essentially
your destination
a,
is 4 miles from here. Leave the parking lot
a drill,
and
but
take
it's
the first right.
It's like a Dremel, but it's a fancier one, and then it's connected to this like it looks like it's a giant printer, but it goes back and forth like forward and back on top of a piece of wood, and then the drill will go down, and then it can go across, and so it can get to any point in the wood, and so then it will just when it was working, it looks like it's printing out the design, but it just follows your design and carves out what parts you carve it, and then you tell it to carve out. And so not only can it carve at different depths based on your design, but you can also set in your design what parts you want cut out. And so it's like it's a pretty useful tool, especially if you want to do like signs or custom things, because you can like reproduce it really fast. Like if you have like a giant piece of wood, you just set it down and you can make like 5 copies of the same thing or unique things, and it will cut them all out and carve it the way you want it to.
You have reached your destination.
And then
Are you ready
the
to
other
show
thing
your
we
courage
got
in
to
order
work
to
with
save your
was the
son?
laser, and it's very
Listen
similar
carefully.
to the ShopBot.
Take the highway
Where,
and drive against the traffic for 5 miles. If you
But it was
haven't
smaller,
reached
and so
destination
what I
in
would do
5
is I would
minutes,
put
you will have
a piece of acrylic.
If I succeed, I'll get more letters for the
Or,
hang. It's my only lead. No turning back
It's
now.
plexiglass that you can get from Home Depot, and you know this.
Can't stop my hands shaking. I'm not going
When
to
you
make
know
it.
the thickness of the plexiglass,
I'm not going to make it.
You can figure out like what power you need the laser to work at.
I can do it. I'd do anything to save my son.
Like I would cut with pretty thick plexiglass, so you need to have the laser at full power. But then it just goes back and forth on top of the plexiglass, and it cuts it out. But unlike the ShopBot, you can't.
I've got to
with
do
the
it
laser, you
for
can't
Sean's
do
sake.
depth.
I have
It
no
just cuts
choice.
through, or it does this thing that I think it's not rastering, but where it just lightly goes on the top of the surface. And so what that does is it make, like with the clear plexiglass, it will make it look fogged. But like if you do it on other materials, like if you did balsa wood, it would like make it black because it's just singeing the top, not cutting all the way through. But there's all kinds of designs you can do. You can cut like I did with plexiglass, or you can cut balsa wood. But what we would actually do is if we were testing out
You still have 4 miles to go
design,
before you reach your
and
destination.
even though it only cuts 2-dimensional objects, you can design your objects to be put together in 3 dimensions. So like you could design an inner reed box, and so we'd cut each side of the box and then put like in a zipper fashion around the edges, and so then it just sticks together because the sides
You
interlock.
still have 3 miles to go before
And so
you
there were a
reach
ton
your
of designs that
destination.
people did. You just cut it out of the cardboard. And at the college they had that, everyone just gives the Fab Lab cardboard because people just like cutting with the
Still have
laser.
2 miles to go before you reach your destination.
So that the laser is a lot of fun to work with and to watch. And then the last thing that we learned how to use was the 3D printers, and they had a Stratasys 3D printer, which is like it's an industrial strength 3D
You still
printer.
have 1 mile to
And I
go
printed
before you
a
reach
few
your
things on it,
destination.
but it was like really expensive. And I almost wish I didn't print with the Fab Lab. We didn't have to, but I wanted to do. I had a project I was working on where I was making a custom video camera, and so I needed to build a lens chamber for it, and so I was like, perfect, I can use the 3D printer. But I had to do, well, first off I needed 2 lens chambers that I needed built, and they were identical. And then, on top of that, I also built a custom case for my GoPros. And
Destination reached. Please
And it's just really expensive because how it works is they charge by how many hours, and it takes a 3D printer a long time. And so they charge you by what they call the machine hours. And then the material supply is a joke because like it will run for like maybe 17 hours, and this machine does not get paid minimum wage. It gets paid premium amount, and so it would end up being like $250 for each part. And so, looking back, if I would have known it would have cost that much to print it, I would have just bought a 3D printer, because with the 3 different parts, it costs over. Each one was $200, so it cost $600, and you could buy. At the time, this was back in 2013. At the time, you could buy a 3D printer for like. It was like for $500, and there would be an entry level one. But the printer I wanted at the time, it cost $2,000, and so I was like, it's cheaper to do at the Fab Lab. But now, in 2017, there are cheaper. 3D printing has gone down in price, and so the main problem is I wanted a 3D printer that can print 2 different filaments, and so the filament is just plastic that goes in, and what happens is the printer, it works just like a regular printer, and so if you imagine it going across the board instead of spitting paper out, that's how it works. It goes back and forth, but the printer is on a system that raises it up. So what happens is, like, if you want to print a box, what it would do is you feed the printer a design of the box, and then it would cut the box horizontally in layers. And so, like, a 1-inch box, it would cut into like maybe like 10,000 layers. And so what it does is it prints the outline of the box on the bottom of the board, and then the printer raises up, and it puts up, like, what it does is it melts the plastic on the second layer, and so then it keeps doing that where it just builds. It's called additive printing, and it just layers plastic one layer at a time, and each layer, like for just the box, it would be the same layer just over and over and over again, making a cube. But you can do other designs where you can have it branch out, and it will automatically print support structures and everything. And support structures, like, let's say you are building an arch. If you just print the arch without the support structures, the plastic would collapse as it's building it, and then it would just be a failed print. But with the support structures, it like builds kind of like little triangles that hold up the plastic as it's building it, and then once you're finished printing it, the plastic is built in such a way that you can just snap off the support structures, and then you sand it down and everything. And so that's one way. That's like the lower end 3D printers do support structures. But if you have a 3D printer that can print with 2 different types of plastic, there's this other plastic that you can get that dissolves in water. And so you might be like, well, why would you want a plastic that dissolves in water? And so what happens with this one is it will print the hard plastic that doesn't melt in water. It will print your structure, but then it will use the plastic that dissolves in water as a support structure. And so what this means is you can build like fully enclosed parts, working parts, out of plastic.
What can I do for you?
And as long as there's a couple of like,
I'd like a room.
Not air holes, but like holes where
Anything.
the water can get inside.
Feeling the register.
Like it can dissolve the structures inside of whatever machinery or part you're building, and so you can build like hollow working gears. like you can build a box, and inside the box, it will have support
Madison
structures
page 27.
that's holding the gears in place.
Single.
And then you just put it in.
How long will you be
have
staying
to
with
soak
us,
it in
Ms.
this
Page?
water.
I don't know yet.
And usually you put a little bit of detergent in,
Room 201.
and then it
Last
dissolves,
floor, stairs on
and then
the
the
right,
part
in the
works
courtyard.
just straight out of the box. And so you can print like ball bearing
Thanks.
parts. You can do all kinds of
Pleasure
things that
was all
are
mine.
enclosed
That's for sure.
and that you don't have to take apart. You don't have to glue or bolt back together. And so at the time in 2013, there was like only a couple of printers that could print with more than one filament. And that's the plastic that goes in. And so like before it was like the MakerBot Studio thing, that one costs like $2,000, but now there's a whole bunch of other 3D printers that print. They advertise it as printing with like 2 different color filaments, but as long as it can take 2 different types at the same time, then it can take the water soluble, and that's what they call the plastic that melts, that dissolves in water, is water soluble filament. So now that I have a somewhat stable job, and I'm like, the main reason why I didn't buy a 3D printer was because it was just like I didn't have enough parts or things to build or ideas at the time where it would pay for itself. But now I have a whole list of things that I
Room 201.
planning to build,
Stairs on the right.
and
Last floor.
like I can order the parts and like manually build it, or I could just save up and get the 3D printer. Because once you get the 3D printer, the filament costs like $20 for like a pound of it, even though it's a string. And so,
Sir?
just
Are you
like
all
running
right?
it myself, printing like I could print 7 or 8
call an
things on
ambulance.
one roll of
No ambulance.
filament,
You're badly
and
hurt.
it would
You need
only
a
cost me
doctor.
like $20
Please,
for a
just
custom part that
help me
would
to my
work.
room. It's
So-
number 207.
The problem is I'm saving up for a car, and so it's just like the car comes first, but then, the 3D printer later. And then the program I use, in the class, we were taught using SolidWorks,
Have you got the key?
which is a CAD program, but it's so expensive, like, I can't afford it. And then, like, if you go to their website, it's one of those programs where they don't tell you the price. They're like, oh, if you want to order it, ask us. But, it's a really good program, and it's the one that engineers use. But I used a program called FreeCAD, and it works on Mac,
You're really in bad shape. You should
Windows,
see a
and
doctor.
Linux.
Must have one,
And I
maybe
found
2
that
broken
that one
ribs.
does everything I needed to do.
It's not fatal.
And there's plenty of YouTube tutorials on
But
like
it's
how
sore
to
as
make
hell.
objects. And then, so once you make the part in FreeCAD,
Your head is bleeding.
you
It
export
looks
the
deep.
part as it's called a STL file. And then
I'll help
you
him
can-
first and ask questions later.
With some printer,
Medicine.
you can just put
There's
it
bound
on
to
the
be a
memory
medicine
card
cabinet
and
in the
then put
bathroom.
The STL file on the memory card, and that's nice because you don't need a computer that's connected to the printer all
Paraphenol
the time. And then we just print
anti-fever.
from the memory card.
Administer only in
or
cases of
USB
high fever.
dongle.
Necophren 100 antibiotics. Administer to combat infection. I should disinfect his cuts. I'm going to disinfect your wound. This might hurt a little.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of painkillers,
There. At least it won't get infected.
so
Thanks.
we had, my family and I had this bottle of ibuprofen. And it was like one of those ones you get from Costco. So it's like a 2-pack. And each pack has like 500
one
pills.
pill every
And we've
24
had
hours.
these 2-packs for years. Like
Here.
years. And
Take
like,
this.
because we don't,
It should do you some good.
we don't like taking medicine.
It's a painkiller.
We just,
It'll help reduce the pain.
I mean, we're fine with taking medicine.
It
But
says
it's
on
just
the
like,
box to take one
only
every
when you
24
really need
hours.
it. But
I don't think it's a good idea to exceed the dose.
I can't afford to wait.
and so
I
what was
wouldn't move around
surprising
for
was,
a
like,
few
we
days
ran
if I
out.
were you.
I was like, oh my goodness, how did we run out?
I'm gonna take a
You know,
shower.
we've been taking all these pills. But,
All right.
I mean,
Let
we're
me
a big
help you.
family, so. I mean, it's not surprising. But, so all we had was aspirin left versus ibuprofen. Ibuprofen
I'll wait here until you
is
come
the same
out.
thing as
Let me know if you need anything.
Advil. And so, I woke up with a headache today, and it just it wouldn't go away. I tried drinking lots of water.
Talk to
thinking
me.
Maybe I was dehydrated.
That
or
way I'll know if
something.
you pass out.
Didn't go away.
What's
and
your
I'm
name?
like, I guess I'll take an aspirin. And usually
Madison.
I take the ibuprofen,
staying in the hotel?
but
No, I
the
live in
aspirin didn't
town.
work.
I suffer
took
from chronic
2 in
insomnia.
the morning, and
I
then
seem to
just,
only be
like,
able to sleep
the
in
headache didn't go
motels.
away.
Don't ask me
I mean,
why.
it got lighter, but it was
Whenever
just,
I get
like,
too
still there.
exhausted, I
And
come
so
and
then
spend
at
a
dinner
night
time,
here.
I took another 2, and it's just like, please go away.
I'm just
And
passing
it
through.
didn't. And so
what
then
else do
after
you do,
dinner, I went to watch a
Apart
movie
from
with my
fixing up
grandmother, and we
strangers.
watched The Dark Knight Rises. And
I'm a photographer.
I was like, maybe it'll go away by
I
the
take
end
pictures
of the movie.
of
and then medicine
furniture
will
for
kick in.
fashionable design magazines. And you?
But
I'm an architect.
it didn't. I still have it. But
Thanks for staying. I feel a lot better now.
Okay. I better get going then. By the way, you never told me your name.
Ethan.
Be careful, Ethan.
so in the last episode, I told you guys about kind of some of the dating fails I experienced, but it's funny because I occasionally get a match now, and I'm pretty sure it's spam because a couple of these people respond the same way. But so I'll be on Tinder, and then it never happens while I'm on it, but I'll look at my phone and it's like, oh, you know, you matched with somebody new, and then I go to see who it is, and they already messaged me, which is rare, because to be honest, what usually happens is I get a notification saying you have a new match on Tinder, and then by the time I go check out who the match is, the person would already have unmatched with me. And he's just like, seriously? So I was an accidental swipe right? And so, I mean, it's a little depressing, but that's okay. Because the person doesn't want to know you, you don't want to deal with that. But, so what's different about this account is like they swipe right and then boom, they instantly text you, which is funny because dating on Tinder as a guy, a lot of women put on their profile, you know, I will never text first, you have to text first, blah,
Sorry?
blah, blah. And then...
Well, back there, Nathaniel could have had a gun. Could have killed me.
A lot of the profiles kind of say the same thing, like I'll never text first.
I prefer to have all the
text me
information
with
before I
pick
make
up
a
lines,
decision.
make me laugh, text me
Try to make
something
rational
cheesy,
choices
and
when
oh,
possible.
brother.
Oh, come
And
on, you
so
had a fraction of a second to
everybody
react. You
wants
could have
to
whacked
text
me before you had
something
time to
that makes you
move.
stand out, because I mean, they get a lot of, probably get a lot of matches.
I'm sorry. I
So
thought you were a
people
tough guy. A
you
street
have to
cop who's
compete
being
with
through
that.
the mill.
Which is hard for me.
I didn't think you'd
because
scare so easily.
I'm kind of a plain
Why don't
Jane,
you fuck off, Norman?
but
That's him.
oh, anyway, so these people that I suspect are spam, they
Miroslav
match,
Korda?
and the first thing
Yeah?
they text right away,
Lieutenant Carter Blake,
within
I'd like to
3
ask you
minutes of the
some
match, is hey shit. It's just like, why would you text that to somebody?
Shit,
But they don't say,
there, he's
like,
gonna get away.
shit. What they say is,
Hey, man,
they
watch
say,
out.
hey, how's it going? And then they have the poop emoji con. He's like, what does that even mean? Why is that the first thing you text somebody? And so then I waited a while and I was like, should I reply back? So sometimes I text back and I was like, hey, I'm doing fine, how are you? And then I get no response, and then eventually
Hey, watch it, man!
it's like, that's fine. So I've gotten a couple of, and she's the exact same, hey, how's it going? Poop emoji. And I'm just like, what?
Whoa!
So that's
Hey, man, watch it!
but I'm already cutting back on the amount of time I spend on Tinder.
Hey, man, what's your problem?
Mainly because, I mean, it's the same reason why I left. I mean, the matches you get, I match you the second they find out you match with them, and then most people ghost. I'm just like, am I not entertaining enough? And then, so it's just dating is depressing.
Damn place is freezing. My hands are numb. Where the fuck is Blake? Come on. Show your
And it's
ugly
not so much
bastard
that
face.
the dating is bad. It's what's bad.
No way he's
is
escaping. I'm gonna get
just
that
the
bastard.
amount of spam
Shit.
you have to
Where'd he go?
through.
I can't
It's
see
incredible.
anything here.
And it's not like you're clicking on or swiping on profiles where it's like the person is obviously photoshopped or is obviously a model, and it's not really a account. Like the spam accounts look like they have stolen real people's profiles, and they're just regular selfies and photos of activities of people. So it's not really suspecting. And then I was talking to a couple of people that I matched with, and I was like, do you, like, as women, do you come across this much spam? Because it's just like, maybe every third match, or every second match is a spam account. And you're like, no, there's rarely any spam. And so I was talking about it to my cousin, and she was like, yeah, probably because only the spam accounts
This
think
time it
that
looks
they can
like we
only
got
get
our
guys to sign
origami
up
killer.
for their site. And like an example of spam is just like, I matched with this one person, and the first thing she texts, she's like, oh, I want to send you some photos, but Tinder won't let me sign up to this site, and I'll send you the photos. And it's like, yeah, right. So the first thing I did was I reported her as spam and then blocked her. But it's just like, oh my goodness. And so a lot of the spam accounts say things like that. Or the other thing they say is, oh, no, you're really nice. I'd like to get to know you. But I'll only talk to you if I only agree to see you in person if you sign up to, it was like tindersafedating.com, but it was totally a scammy site, and I was like, I'm not signing up to this. And so then they're like, oh, my ID code is this. And so the joke of it is that the ID code that to, I guess, see if you're Tinder safe or whatever and don't have a record is the same one that they show in the example. So it's just like anybody who would look at this for 2 seconds would see that, you know, it's obviously a fake account. It's just like, and then the spammers get like even more lewd, where they're like, oh yeah, I can host you at my place, blah blah blah, and it's like, I'll even do butt stuff, and it's just like, nobody, all I did was say hi. Nobody's talking about butt stuff. You know, why did you bring that up on the second response? And a lot of them, you can totally tell that they're following the script. Because, I mean, there were several times where I had like 2 spam accounts and they were just texting me the same thing, one after the other. And it's just like, didn't matter what I texted them, I texted something different, but their responses were the same. And then there was one that I guess the person who was on the other side was sleepy or couldn't keep track of the people she was having, he or she. You know, you don't know if it's the actual person on the profile with the spam accounts. But I guess they got the conversations mixed up. And so then they're texting me like just nonsense. And it's just like, was that actually meant for me?
I needed the rest. I haven't been sleeping well since the murder started up again.
So that was interesting.
I've seen the parents of all the victims.
Honestly, that was the reason why I
And
quit.
all I've come up with is this telephone and a box of
internet
origami
dating.
figures. So I've been taking care of my grandmother and our 2 dogs. Right now, my mom is away, moving my sisters into their college, and so I kind of stayed behind so that I could take care of everyone. And
You said
my
I
grandmother's
could contact
easy,
you if
me
I
and her get
remembered
along
anything.
pretty well. And
Can I come in?
I spent a year taking
Sure.
care of her at her house, but then it got to the point where I had to come back. We live in different states, and so
You want a drink?
Yes,
she
glass
came
of water.
back with me.
Please.
Take
So
a
now
seat,
she
I'll get it.
was with me and my mom, and we mostly it's my mom that takes care of her now, but I still take care of her a lot.
Didn't really expect to see her.
And so
Wonder what she wants.
So while my mom's away, I'm taking care of her and the dogs. And we have 2 Newfoundlands. And what we did was we used to give them this dog food called Blue, but then they were bought out by another company, and the first thing this company did was they changed the formula of the food, and so it's less healthy, and
Thanks.
I just didn't want to give it to our dogs anymore. And so what we actually did was we switched them to a raw diet, and so now they eat raw meat. What happens is we give them like
I just
maybe a
remembered
pound of
something.
meat, and then we give them raw
Maybe it's not
vegetables,
important,
and we blend it
But
together.
a letter arrived in the
And
mail the
then,
morning Johnny disappeared.
They get about
A letter?
a pound and a half.
What kind of a letter?
It was addressed to Johnny's father. I don't know what was inside it, but
was
he
food.
read it and then he left. That's the
a
last
meal,
time I saw
and they
him.
get 2 meals a day.
And you think there's a connection between that letter
Oh,
and
my
Johnny's
goodness.
death, is that it? You remember anything else
One
about the
Newfoundland we
letter?
got from a breeder,
Well, I don't know why, but I kept the envelope.
and the reason why we got her from a breeder is because with the Newfoundlands, you want one with good genes because you don't want a Newfoundland that needs hip surgery and
No,
stuff,
not particular.
or one that has a short life.
Except
And
the
so
address.
the breeders
The address?
It was typed with an old
The
typewriter.
dog you're gonna get is
Could be a lead, you never
gonna
know.
be like a little bit healthier.
Well, thanks for your help, Lauren. I'll let you
And
know if
the
it
other
leads to
thing
anything.
Wait,
when the dog's a
I can't
puppy,
just sit around
they
and do nothing
do
while
a
you're
lot
out
of
there looking for the man
pre-training
who
with
killed
it
my
where
son.
they're just
Ever
they're
since you came around, I've
socialized
been
better
thinking, and
and from a good breeder.
I want to come with you.
And so
Help you in your
our second
investigation?
noof, we're pretty sure that the breeder is an irresponsible
There's nothing
one
you can do to help Lauren.
because
It's not a good idea.
both
Believe me.
the dog we rescued
If you won't let me help you,
from the family,
I'm
they
keeping the
couldn't
envelope.
take care of the dog anymore, so they put her
It's
up
all
for
or
adoption.
nothing.
But her brother, who was born on the same day as
There's
her,
no way you can
is
help me,
also
Lauren.
up for
You'll
adoption
just
because
slow
the
me
family
down.
couldn't take care of her because
how many clues have you got,
essentially
Mr.
because the
Shelby?
dog was too much of a
This
troublemaker.
envelope.
And Newfoundlands
Maybe
are
you're
big;
only
they're
linked to
about
the
the same
killer.
size as a Saint Bernard.
I understand. It was a stupid idea. Sorry for wasting your time, Mr.
But-
Shelby.
Wait,
I mean, the rescue noof, she's like
you're really
high
something
energy.
special, Lauren.
So it just feels like the whole
I'll
time.
give you that.
My mom's been gone. I
I'm
had
just
this
a mother.
list of things I was going to do. I had a lot of
mother
work I
who
wanted
wants
to
to
catch
find
up
out
on.
who killed her
And it's just
son.
like I haven't been able to do any of it
Are we
because the second I sit down, this dog is getting into trouble, and it's just like we're trying to teach her how to use a crate, and with the crate system, it's like teaching a child. Like this is your room, this is your safe place. Nobody comes in. Nobody's supposed to come in here, and like you can go here when you're tired or whatnot. And so like if I'm preparing food and stuff, I'll put her in her crate, and then she just sits there, and we're trying to get her to enjoy it. So I'll give her a treat while she's in the crate, so she likes it more. But like if I leave her out while I'm preparing food, if I turn my back to the stove, she will jump up
Maybe
and
you
grab
better
the
stay in
food.
the car.
Not only
Partners,
that,
remember?
like
Wherever you
if
go, I
I'm
go.
putting food in like the toaster, we have like a toaster oven. If I'm putting food or preparing food by the toaster, she will try to grab the food from underneath my arm, and she can reach counters of any height and try to go underneath my arm, steal the food, and try to eat it. She is like so
What are we
food
doing
oriented.
here?
We come to see
And
Gordy
we
Kramer.
feed her more than
Kramer?
we feed our
The
other
big wig
dog.
tycoon from Kramer
She gets an
Construction?
extra half a
No,
pound
his
of
son.
food.
You think maybe he's the origami killer?
For now, I just have a few questions that need answers.
And so she actually learned how to open the toaster oven.
Security guard earned
She
his
can
payoff.
open it with
Seems
her
there
mouth,
really
and
is
then
a
she
party
tries to
going
steal
on
the
tonight.
food that's cooking inside. So she's like, she's a real handful. And so our first dog, she's fine. She mostly just watches the other dogs
What
get
a
into trouble, and
joy!
she's like,
Kramer
"I'm
must
not
be
supposed to do
loaded.
that."
What'd you think he paid for
She
all
doesn't
this
care.
shiny crap?
We'll discuss Kramer's decor another time.
Are we gonna be here long? This place gives me the creeps.
I'm gonna go find Gordy Kramer. You stay here till I come back. Okay?
Okay, just let me know if you need me.
But the point of the story is, like, for the first day, it was just like, oh my goodness. Every second, the rescue dog was getting in trouble. going into the trash, she would jump on the counter.
Hi,
Not jump
I'm
on the
looking
counter.
for Gordy.
She would
You
put
know
her
where
front
he is?
paws on the counter, like standing up.
I saw him a while back, but you'll be lucky to see him. He
And
rarely
then
hangs
she
out
put
down
her
here
head
with
in the
his
sink,
guests.
and
Oh,
she
really?
would actually take
Why
pots
bother
and
throwing a
pans,
party
like
then?
heavy pots and pans,
Why don't you go
out
ask
of the
him?
sink and carry them to the ground, where she would like try to lick them clean. And it's just like, oh my god, I always
Booze,
used to
babes,
say,
and coke.
Our dog
Gordy
had
Kramer seems to be
opposable
quite the
thumbs
party
that would be
animal.
the end.
Excuse me?
But this dog is acting like she has opposable
Nobody
thumbs.
allowed upstairs.
And she's trying to take over the kitchen. And so,
Look,
what
here's
I do
Mr.
now
Franklin.
is,
He says I should go up.
You talk so crazy if I
I
shove that
we
wall
have
down
these
your throat.
toys that are like
Beat
called
it. I ain't for
impossible
sale.
toys. And so what happens is you can open it up and like
If I want to see
it's
Gordy
like a
Kramer,
clam,
I'm gonna
and
have
in
to
the
go
center
about
of the
it some other
clam
way.
there's a screw, and so you unscrew it and the clam separates.
Got to
And so
find
what-
a way to
what
get
I
them
would do
away
is
from the
you
stairs
have two of them.
long enough
So I
for
would
me to
put,
be able to slip past.
Peanut butter
I'm
in
at
the
a
middle
dead
of the
end.
clam,
Maybe I'll take a flyer
and
on
then
one of
screw it
Lauren's
shut.
ideas.
And then the dog spends like an hour and a half or 2 hours just licking it, because they
Okay,
can lick the
gotta
peanut
find
butter
Gordy
out
Kramer.
slowly, but it's difficult for them to unscrew it. They can unscrew it if they learn how to, but it takes them a while. Again, because they don't have opposable thumbs. But so that's been like my savior. It's just like I need to get work done for an hour. I put the
I'm at a
peanut
dead
butter
end.
in, and then
Maybe I'll take a flyer
both
on one of
dogs are
Lauren's
like
ideas.
happy. They're like, yeah, we'll lick this forever and stuff. And then when I finish my work, I open it up for them. So they
Maybe a
can
little
skip
guest
what's
relations
inside.
incident will bring over our goons for a bit of customer service.
That's what I've been doing to kind of keep them occupied. And then I try the usual stuff where I take them for a walk and I have them go outside and like throw the ball with them.
You see
Just to get their energy out. It's like, please.
Do you know what he said about you?
Nukes to take a
What'd he
nap
say?
so I can get more work done. And so I like,
The bastard! Ah, sort him out!
so she's like, it has been very educational.
Motherfucker!
Because now it's like, I couldn't handle kids. I mean, I could eventually, but it's just like, oh my goodness, they just take over your life. You can never get anything done, and you're constantly chasing them. And then I was just like, please, I just want it to be night so you guys can go to sleep, because then I can get most of my work done.
I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
big
From like 11
What you
to
think
3
about
a.m.
my mother?
while everyone's
No,
asleep.
you get filed with me, my little friend. And do you know who I am?
So I want to remind everyone that you can get this on Patreon early by subscribing to LCD Productions at the $2 or higher level. You get early access to all the content LCD Productions produces, including content from Photations.com. And this
Kramer.
September,
the best
content from Live to Tape, as well as early access to Thumb United's
My name is
LetsPlays
Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective.
and live streams.
I'm investigating the case of the origami killer. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
And then if you don't know the schedule, what happens is this Let's Play in its entirety, all 5 episodes will be released at the beginning of the month to Patreon first.
I'd like to know
and then a
exactly
month
what
later,
happened to little
or
Joseph
after
Brown.
we finished the
Beat it.
previous
You
stream,
hear me?
Get the
then
hell
it comes
outta
to
here.
Twitch, and after it finishes airing on Twitch, we air one episode a week.
What do you want?
After it finishes airing on Twitch, then it slowly
A
comes down to
witness saw
YouTube,
little
one
Joseph
episode
Brown
a
get in
week.
the back of your
So by the
limousine.
time it comes
That was the last time anybody
publicly
ever
to
saw
YouTube, it's
Now, I
usually
know you've been arrested and interrogated until your father made a
2
little
to 3
phone
months
call and the file was closed.
after it comes to Patreon.
I'd
So
like
you
to
really
hear
get
your version of the facts.
2 to 3 months of exclusivity
The kid was
on
lost.
Patreon.
I just offered to drive him home. The police
Oh,
arrived,
goodness, this
I
guy is so
explained the
creepy.
misunderstanding, and I was released. End of story. Nothing to get excited about, right?
I don't know why, but your story just doesn't check out. You're giving me the crap now. Tell me something I can't believe.
Very well. I'm the origami killer. I get my victims into my car. I drown them in rainwater. Then I dump them on a wasteland with an origami figure in one hand and an orchid on their chest. I do that because I'm bored, Mr. Shelby. And it's a creative and entertaining way of having fun. Is that good enough for you? Or do you want more? This interview is over.
Get rid of this clown!
He headbutted that guy's fist.
It's a dangerous game you're playing, Kramer.
Do you know who my father is? He only has to lift one finger and you won't wake up tomorrow morning. You're the one that should be afraid, Mr. Shelby, not me.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 2 of Heavy Rain. If you want, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can just search for Thumbs United. Follow us on Twitter. Again, Thumbs United. If you want to follow us on Twitter, LCD Productions. It's LCD-_Productions. And so I'm going to leave it here. And next week is episode 3. And I'm going to keep it to the point where it's about 2 hours each episode. Okay, see ya.